What's going on, y'all? This is Clarence Jr. breaking down the Bulldogs. And I'm gonna come straight out the gate and just tell y'all the real. This is not analysis. Well, it's some analysis mixed into it, but I'm gonna be 100% real with y'all. This is a Bowie State fan, Bowie State alumni, Bowie State supporter stream. This is coming from a perspective of someone who wants the team to win and is finding reasons why the team can win. That's what this is. So just to be clear on that. Because I gotta be real with y'all, man. We gotta win this game, y'all. Seriously, we gotta win this game. It's been 4 straight. Delaware State, Livingstone, Winston-Salem, and then Fayetteville. All the Division II games have been close, except for that last one against Fayetteville. So once again, this is just fans talking. That's why I'm not even on camera. This is fans talking. I'm going to give you a fan's perspective, and I'm going to present a case as to why we can win the game and why I hope we win the game. But before I jump into that, we do have to talk about, and I'm only going to do this briefly because I already did a long video about the issues that we do have. So I don't got to do that again here. But what I am we're just going to quickly talk about what the problem is and why we are in the position that we are, because I don't think y'all understand just how bad this is. When I show y'all this, you're going to be like, wow, there's no way it's gotten this bad. So I need to show y'all just how bad it has gotten. First of all, and there we go. First, let me go ahead and zoom in on this. This is how bad it has gotten. Let me zoom in, because this is crazy. These are the standings. Do you see this? We are currently tied for last with Lincoln. Now, it's still a lot of games to be played, but like, come on, man. Bowie State is currently in 10th place in the conference. That's where we are right now. We are currently in 10th out of 11. We are only ahead of winless Lincoln. Come on, man. That just can't happen. But let's further break down why that is, though. Let's break that down some. Because when I show y'all this is insane. Let me go ahead and zoom in. We're going to start with the positives. So, these are the statistics for the conference. You look at defense, Bowie State is 5th. Mind you, I believe if our offense was better, we'd be a lot higher. The offense plays better. The offense is on the field longer. The offense puts more points on the board, makes the opponents more one-dimensional. But even with the offense that we've had, our defense is 5th. We've only given up 17 touchdowns the entire season. Not bad. Think about that. 17 touchdowns in 5 games. We've given up a total of 126 points this year. 25 points a game. We know a lot of those points in the average got bumped up by that game against Delaware State. Otherwise, our average would be a few points lower. We'd be in the top 3 without that Division I game that we played. But hey, it is what it is. But here is the problem. When you look at offense, these are the offensive statistics in the CIAA. Now, we know our offense has struggled, but I don't think y'all really have wrapped your minds around just how bad the offense has been. So I need you to see with your eyes where it is. I need for you to see this, because you're not going to believe it unless you see it with your own eyes. So here are the top offenses. Obviously, we got Union and Johnson and Winston-Salem, right? 29 touchdowns so far, 29-26. Top 2 over 200 points scored. Winston White behind them at 191. Averaging 42 points a game. Averaging 34 points a game. Averaging 32 points a game. Okay. So, yeah, we're not up there. We're not in the top 3, top 4, top 5. Okay. But watch how far down we are, though. Not in the top 5. Okay. It's not necessarily a terrible thing being behind Union, Johnson C. Smith, Winston-Salem, Fayetteville, Virginia State. It's not necessarily a bad thing being behind them. But here's the thing. Not only are we behind them, we're also behind Bluefield. We're also behind Livingstone. We're also behind Elizabeth City State. Here's the one. Here's the one right here. Offensively, we are behind the Shaw Bears. That's you can't. I'm sorry, man. You can't have that. That's unacceptable, man. That's not even the worst part, though. Look at this. Because if you look at this, it says that we're higher than Lincoln, but Lincoln's stats are not updated for some reason. Because Lincoln has definitely scored more than 5 touchdowns this year. But if you look, it says games. For some reason, it shows Lincoln only playing 3 games, even though we know Lincoln has played 5 games. So if you add the other 2 games from Lincoln on here, Lincoln, we are dead last. Look at this. Shaw has scored 13 touchdowns this year. Shaw. This season, we have scored 9 N-I-N-E, 9 touchdowns in 6. Oh my, come on, man. 9 touchdowns. 9. But it gets worse. Look at the points per game. Once again, we know Union and Winston-Salem and Johnson C. Smith in the 30s and 40s, right? But look at this. You drop down, you got Elizabeth City State. You round them up, they're at 20. Shaw. Oh, my Lord. Shaw University scores 18 points. Shaw. Mind you, this is the same Shaw team that played Ferrum. This is Ferrum's first year at Division II. And Ferrum held Shaw to 6 points. But even with that terrible loss that Shaw had to Ferrum, Shaw still averages 18 points a game this year. Bowie State, look at, we are at 16.8, but once again, if you were to take out the touchdown we scored on defense versus Shippensburg, If you talk about strictly offensive points, Bowie State scores 15, 1-5 offensive points a game in 2025. 15. It's one thing to not be a high-powered offense, right? You're not scoring 30 and all that kind of stuff. But to not be at 23, 24 points, come on, man. And now you see why our record is the way it is. Who can you beat in college football with 15 points? Seriously. Who can you beat with 15 points? The record indicates pretty much no one. And so now that I've shown you just how, listen, man, do you see this? 9 touchdowns for the season so far. Guys, for real, how do you explain that? You got Maximus Jones, Micah Robinson, Challenger Valentine. You got Banks. You got, I'm messing up names, but you listen, man. There's no explanation for 9 total. Come on, man. And once again, on here we're above Lincoln, but I know for a fact that Lincoln scores more than 12 points a game. I know for a fact. Remember, I do a show breaking down the whole conference, showing the highlights. So I know for a fact Lincoln scores more than 12 points. So if the numbers were updated, the truth is, shout out to Steven Gaither, the truth is we have the worst offense in the conference. But let's just be real. Not even biased, not even hating. Do you truly believe that Shaw has better weapons than Bowie State? I know for a fact Livingstone does not have better weapons than Bowie State. I saw Livingstone in person. They play hard, they play smart, but they don't have the weapons that Bowie State has. But they have almost twice as many touchdowns. Come on, man. Come on, man. But now let's talk about this game against Virginia State. That's on Saturday. First of all, I'm going to just tell you all this straight up. This is a game that we need to win this game. And let me tell you why. First of all, we talked about this before. We only have 4 home games this year. We've already lost 2 of them. Already lost 2 of them. This is the 3rd of 4. This has look, come on, man. You got to win this game. Not only that, this game is on national television. HBCU Go. Not only that, Virginia, once again, y'all, I'm telling y'all, this is a fan stream. All right. So just know that. Exactly, James. Bluefield State. Bluefield State's offense is humming compared to ours. Now, to be fair, Bluefield State has played Shaw at home. So, but they also have played, who was it? They played I think they played some tough games. I can't remember right off the top of my head, but I know Bluefield State has played some people and gotten their doors blown off. But still, even with that, Bluefield State is averaging 23 points a game. Like that, this is unacceptable. Like you can't justify. I'm not going to listen. I'm not going to say that. One thing I'm never going to do, I'm never going to say that somebody should lose their job. I'm not going to do that. But what I will do is I will highlight the job performance and say, hey, this is a problem, which is what I did do. Because once again, this is a 3-year problem. But then you can't justify 9 touchdowns on the season. You just can't. But Virginia State has lost 3 of their last 4 games. So they're not doing that much better than we are right now. They've been struggling lately. They just lost at home to Johnson C. Smith. And we're going to talk about 2 things. We're not going to be here all night. But one thing we're going to talk about is, before you know me, I'm going to come with stats. I'm going to come with video. Before we get to the video, I just want to say a couple of things. First thing is this. Struggling is one thing. Getting beat is one thing. It happens, right? But what cannot happen is you cannot continually come up short and A, we don't see progress, and B, we don't see nothing new. That's the thing. Let me see this. We gave him 3 to 4 years. Listen. Once again, I'm not going to say that, but what I am going to say, you are correct. It has been 3 years, and it has not been good at any point, unless it's been, once again, against the bottom feeders. But anytime we play a halfway decent team, he has not gotten it done. That's I will say that. But once again, losing is one thing. Not improving is something else. Not seeing if you losing, I can tolerate that if I see you trying something, you trying different things, you trying to figure it out. That's why I say, hey man, the kitchen sink. Because at this point, it's been 3 years. And at this point, you just got to find something that works. Listen, I'm not even listen. I feel you on that, but listen, at this point in time, I understand you can't win a championship all the time. But this is what I would say is acceptable. What I would say is acceptable is you got to have winning seasons. You got to win 6, 7 games consistently. Because you got to beat the 3 or 4 team. Like you can never here's the baseline, right? You cannot slip behind Lincoln, behind Bluefield, behind Shaw, behind ECSU. You can't slip behind them. Most of the time, you got to be above Livingstone. And you got to be competitive with the Virginia schools, with Salem, with Fayetteville, with JCSU, right? So that means you're winning 6 or 7 games every year. You might have a bad year where you win 5 or 4, but then you're also going to have some good years when you win 7, 8, and go to the championship. But you got to stay around 6, 7. The conference is getting better. I will say that. But what I'm saying is, as a standard for a realistic standard for Bowie State, you got to be between 5 and 7 wins every single year. You gotta be competitive with the top of the conference. You gotta beat at least one or two of them every year. So if you're not beating Union, you're beating State. If you're not beating State, you're beating Fayetteville. If you're not beating Fayetteville, you're beating Winston-Salem. You gotta beat at least one of them every year. Not saying you're going to the championship every year. Not saying you're winning 8 games every year. But you got to get around 6 consistently. The problem is you cannot do that scoring 15 points a game. And so what I will say, 7 wins minimum. Listen, man. Listen. I'm not gonna lie. 7 minimum every year is a high standard. You know. And just being honest, prior to that those amazing championship runs, we wasn't winning 7 every year. So I'm gonna be realistic about that. But this can't happen. 9 touchdowns. That's worst offense in the conference. That's unacceptable. You can never accept that. But see, and this was frustrating about the offense. It's just like, granted, we're not coaches, we're not players, we're fans, and it's easy to say this and that from the sideline. I understand that. But just being real, it's like you watch the games and you see things that appear to work. You see things that make sense. That's a good question. Not 100% sure about that. Good question, though. And so what I mean by seeing things that work, I'm going to show you. So if we're going to be, once again, we keeping it real, there have been some issues with consistency regarding the offensive line. That is true, right? However, the most frustrating thing about the offense is not doing obvious things that work. Like I talked about this right after this. The Livingstone game. It was obvious we were having some issues in pass protection against Livingstone. It was also obvious they couldn't stop the run. So in real time, and I was talking to people, Bowie people that came all the way down there and it was in the stands, the obvious thing to do was to lean heavy on the run game because they couldn't stop it. They can't stop the run. You can't block for the pass. It's a 1-possession game. Run the football into the ground. I said this in real time. Take the O-line off of defense and pass protection and put them on offense in the run game. And you know what was crazy and also frustrating? At a certain point in the game, we ran a semi up-tempo run offense. It wasn't full up-tempo, but it was, quicker than we usually get in and out of the offense. And it worked. And we scored. But, man, I'm going to just show it to you because I don't,
To playing. And the snap. They stop him just at the 45.
See, they're running the ball, and they're running a pretty much, not full up tempo, but quick. They're getting, they got up to the line quick.
And the snap.
They're running the ball.
They stop.
First of all, when you're running the ball at this clip, what is the point of even passing the ball?
They stop him at the 35. At the 30.
Once again, this is not full up tempo, but it's quicker than we usually run an offense. Let me just be real. And that's another issue we got. We kind of
down.
Yeah, like okay. So once again, it's a semi up tempo, heavy run offense. Now we started to slow down a little bit here, but
Snap.
And this is when we were down. We were down.
Not once. They've been running it and then running it and running it.
This is either late third or early fourth. And we are down.
One of those things where you learn from
17-10.
You learn from what didn't work earlier this game. You learn from really wasn't working in a consistent basis of it. They said, hey, it hasn't been working while we're putting the ball in the air, so let's just run it.
Exactly.
And the snap, he goes for the pass, and he gets it.
King Durham.
You see how that works? You see how that works? Why? Number one, why didn't we do that more often in this particular game? And why haven't we done more of that since? A up-tempo running offense. I understand you want to possess the ball and win time of possession. That makes sense. But guess what? In order to win time of possession, you have to possess the ball by producing first downs. You can take your ever-loving time getting in and out of plays, which is what we do, and you can go 130 seconds. I mean, a minute and 30 seconds on a 3 and out. Or you can go 8 or 9, 10 plays, get a couple of first downs. And even if you're moving at a faster pace, you still take more time off the clock because you're actually moving the football. But our offense a lot of times is so slow. And then you run a play and it's like a quick pass to the flat that does not work or go anywhere. And even worse if it's incomplete. How much time are you really taking? How much possession are you really getting at that point? But let me show you. I'm going to go back to this a little bit. Right, so we're running a semi quick tempo run heavy offense, right? And so look what this does to the defense.
They stop him. Just. Ooh. They stop him at.
First of all, look at this. You're moving pretty quick with the tempo. And so guess what? The defense is on their heels. The defense gets tired. The defense is trying to substitute. They're trying to communicate. They don't know who's supposed to be on, who's supposed to be off, who's supposed to be where. They're scrambling. Where are you supposed to be? I know I'm supposed to be over here, and I'm supposed to be over there. Who's doing this? Who's doing that? You snap it again. Run the ball again.
Snap. They haven't put the ball in the air not once. They've been running it and then running it and running it.
They get a stop. But guess what? You hurry up. You get on the ball again.
That's one of those things where
they're trying to figure out, who's supposed to be here? Who got this? Who got that? They don't know what's going on. And then boom.
On a consistent basis of it. They said, hey, it hasn't been working while we're.
That's the issue. Why haven't we been trying more of that? Exactly, yes. I'm sure there's been plenty of possessions where we had the ball for 30 seconds, 45 seconds, 50 seconds. If you've been James Young, I don't know if you've been to any of the games in person, But if you ever been to any of the games in person, have you ever noticed how sometimes we are so slow to get to the line, call a play, and snap the ball? It's like it takes forever. And so the defense is fresh. They rested. Because think about it, we run a play, and then we use up the whole play clock before we snap the ball again. And sometimes, more often than I would like to see, the play clock is running down and we got to call a timeout. So the defense is well rested. They sit up there pointing and communicating, and you go over here and you go over there. And here's the thing, though. Using up the entire play clock, and it's not like it's a whole lot of movement in the first place. So what is taking so long? Yeah. It has gotten worse and worse. Yes, it has. It started with Livingstone, and it's just gotten worse since then. No, actually, I wouldn't say no. It actually got better with Winston, because with Winston we scored more points, number one, and we got to the red zone a whole lot more. It was just when we got to the red zone, couldn't do a daggone thing with it. Now Fayetteville State last week, that hurt. Because once again, Fayetteville State, we got in the red zone 4 times, and we blocked the punt. How do you have 4 red zone possessions and the block punt and walk away with 10 points? How do you do that? But this is what I mean by you got to throw the kitchen sink. Like, listen. Like, and that was the one thing about Fayetteville State. We did have some things. So we did a running back pass that got us in the red zone. Didn't do nothing with it. We once again a block punt, like 4 red zone possessions. We got 10 total points. It wasn't that it wasn't that we laid down. It was just that the offense was so ineffective. And the defense was just on the field for long periods of time. And Fayetteville State was actually smart. They do it. They run the ball and they keep running it. They run it with everybody. They run it with the running backs. They run it with the quarterback. They run the ball. And they don't stop running it. And so when you're on defense all that time, defending all those run plays and running the quarterbacks, and they're going forward on 4th down and heavy package, and the offense can't score, the offense can't move the ball, and the offense is throwing a pick 6, it's like that's how that goes. The defense got tired. they was on the field all game for the most part because the offense wasn't doing nothing. Honestly, what I'm gonna tell you what happened. In the first half, we left tons of points on the field, but at the end of the day, we got into the locker room and it was 14-7. So you're thinking, okay. And we got the 7, the touchdown, right before the half. So I was like, all right. The problem is we came out and got the ball to start the 3rd quarter. And that possession coming out of halftime was one of, that was terrible. That first possession of the second half was terrible. What I'm saying is, at the end of the day, there's an offense and a defense. And there's a lot of average to below average defenses that look really good, either because they're well rested because the offense moves the ball a lot and possesses the ball, or because the offense scores a lot, and so it makes the other team one dimensional, and so the defense looks a lot better than they actually are. Whereas if you have a bad offense, the defense is on its own. And we're in a situation where the defense is on its own. Because once again, we have 9 touchdowns on the season, the entire season. And so when I say kitchen sink, I mean, listen, we got to listen. What can't happen is the offense looks the same. That's what can't happen because that ain't worked. But once again, there is hope. I'm going to show you really quickly
so let's just run
Virginia State's defense.
And the snap
right after this.
Pass, and he gets it.
King Durham. He's back to throw.
This is last week against Johnson C. Smith.
He has time. Now the pocket disintegrates, but he got away. He fires it deep downfield. Leaping catch. Touchdown. Johnson C. Smith. Pistol. Durham fakes. Drops to throw. Taking a deep shot. Has a man open, and it's caught.
So, why do I show you this? I show you this for several reasons. Number one, once again, Virginia State has lost 3 of their last 4. Number two, Virginia State gives up big plays. Number 3, Virginia State has been turning over the ball a lot recently. That's why they lost to Fayetteville State. They had several possessions where they could have gotten into the red zone and they turned the ball over. They have multiple interceptions and a lot of fumbles in the last few games. Most of the fumbles they have recovered, but some they have not. What's going to happen is the offense is going to have to show signs of life early. That's what's going to happen. The offense has to show some life early. And when I say some life, I mean they have a good drive, they get into the red zone, and they score a touchdown in the red zone. Because what can happen is we go into the game and we either can't move the ball or we move the ball to a certain point and we can't punch it in. And then we get a block kick or a missed field goal. Or let's say we make the field goal and it's like, okay, but then we get down there again and have to settle for another field goal. Listen, the whole morale, the whole energy, the whole air in the building is going to be gone if that happens. If the offense gets out there and they can't move the ball, the stadium gets deflated early. If the offense gets out there, moves the ball, can't punch it into the end zone, and then it's missed kicks, man, I'm going to be real. How the offense looks early is going to determine how this game is going to go. If the offense looks bad early, I hate to say it, but if the offense looks bad early, it could get ugly. I'm talking about blowout city. Because what happens is the fans in the stands and the rest of the team goes, same old, same old. They still can't score. We don't have a chance. That's what happens. So if I'm in charge of Bowie State's offense, I'm up all night, every night from what last Sunday up until Friday night, trying to figure out what I'm going to do so that we can move the ball and score the ball. And then what I want to do is I want to win the coin toss, and I want to take the ball first, and I want to go right down the field and score and let people know we back. That's what I want to do. Now, the question becomes, are they capable of making that happen? Here's the thing. We do need the stadium packed, and the stadium probably would have been packed if we hadn't lost 4 in a row. It still might be because of Virginia State, so that it's only 2 hours away, and it's a TV game. I'm sure there's going to be tailgating, so it still could be a good crowd, but it's not as going to be as big as it would have been if we would have won a couple more of these other games. But once again, and I'm about to get off of here, it comes down to the offense. The offense has to come right out the gate, put a drive together, score a touchdown. Get that belief going, get that energy going with the players and with the fans in the stands. If they come out there and they look just as bad as they have looked all season, it's over. I'm just letting you know right now. I'm going to know whether or not we have a chance to win the game by the end of the first quarter. And we don't even have to be in the lead at the end of the first quarter. We don't even have to have scored by the end of the first quarter. But we had to have looked like we're moving in a better direction. We're trying new things. We got new wrinkles. We can move the ball more. We look more competent. Man, listen. I'm pretty sure Virginia State will probably they might not bring the band, but they'll bring the cheerleaders probably. And they'll bring a decent amount of fans. But once again, as far as us having a chance to win this game, the offense has to show signs of life early. If they look bad to start the game, we're going to, excuse my language, but if they look bad to start the game, we're going to get our ass whooped. That's just real. If the offense looks bad to start the game, we're going to get our ass whooped out there. And embarrassed on TV. It's really that simple. I'm telling you, I'm not worried about the DBs or the defense. I'm not worried about that. I'm only worried, listen, if the offense looks bad early, you might as well go home at halftime. If the offense looks bad early, we are going to get embarrassed. You got to think about it from a human standpoint. You've been seeing this, like if you're a defensive player, if you're a fan, you've been seeing this offense all year. And you know it's been bad all year. And so you done psyched yourself up and got hype and thinking you got a chance. And maybe if this happened, but if they get out there and they look just as bad as they've been looking from a human standpoint, the rest of the team, the fans in the stands, oh, here we go. It's going to be a long day. And that's when you start to give up more points than you normally would. This all comes down to the offense. This comes down to the OC earning his check. That's what it is. Brother man got to earn that money this week. Listen, that's what our defense was doing. Remember? We went into the half 14-7 last week. And then we saw the first drive of the third quarter. And it was bad. And it was downhill from there. Game over. Listen, man. The OC has to figure it out. Yeah, man, you got to earn that check. You got, you know what I'm saying? 15 points. I'm going to put that back up on the screen. 15 points a game. That ain't going to work, buddy. That is not going to work. Yeah, man. How much should you get paid for 9 touchdowns on the season? You know, like, come on now. I'm going to go ahead and put this right here. James Young, what year did you graduate from Bowie? And did you play or anything? I'm just trying to get some more information. But yeah, brother got to earn that money. Straight up. We're going to see real early whether or not we got a chance to win this game or if we're going to get our ass whooped. I'm looking at the offense. Oh, 2023? Oh, yeah. Hit that link. Yeah, definitely. Come on up. Hit the link. Okay, 20. I'm going to look that up right now, matter of fact. Let me look this up. Let me see. Because let me pull this up. James Young. Okay. Let me see. Roster. I'm going to pull that joint up right now. 2023. Let's see. I probably like, oh, that's your. Yeah, let me see. Let's see. 2023. I think that was the year where we couldn't run the ball at all. Yeah, that was the year. Yep. That was, man. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Am I tripping? Did I go past it? I don't think I went past it. I'm tripping. Hold on. It probably would have been quicker if I would have did it a different way. Hold on. He said I'm there every week. I hear that. I'm tripping. Hold on. How I ain't see it yet? I think I might have went past it. Oh, hold on, I'm getting to the bottom. What's going on here? Hold on. Let me try to do it like this. James Young, Bowie State football. Hold on, man. I don't see no. Hold on now. Hold on. Oh. Okay. Yeah, I know exactly who. Yeah, I know exactly who you are. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. I'm about to say. I was about to say, hold on, bro. I don't see no James Young on this roster, but Raymond Moon. Okay, yeah, I know exactly who you are. Yeah. So yeah, like I said, we're gonna see. We are going to see real soon. That's funny though. I was definitely like, hold on, James. I don't see no James. Okay. Shout out to you. You playing arena now, correct? I think I saw that. You playing arena now. But yeah, I remember you playing that season, man. You was definitely one of the best in the conference for sure. For sure. That was another year. If we could have had an offense, boy, it would have been a problem. But listen, man. Shout out to Raymond Boone. Yeah, he was balling. But yeah, man. It is a work night. So I'm gonna get on up out of here in a couple of seconds. But yeah, man, that's what it's going to come down to. That's what it's going to come down to. Matt Goggins or Gogans. You got to figure it out. And quickly. Because I'm going to show this one more time and then I'm getting out of here. I'm going to show this one more time and I'm getting out of here. Because this can't happen. There's no reason why Shaw should be scoring more points than Bowie State. Shaw has a first-year head coach who's actually a Bowie State grad. So I'm glad he got the job. I hope he does well. But in his first year, with the quarterback, come on, man. Elizabeth City State. Livingstone. I saw Livingstone in person. Listen, man, once again, they don't have the athletes, man. There's no way they should be scoring 23 points a game and we scoring 15. That's you can't have that. And once again, Lincoln scores more points than us. All of their games are not up here. There's no reason why we score less points than everybody. Everybody in the come on, man. That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. And then you go to the standings. This is ridiculous, man. This is ridiculous. Once again, Shaw is above us in the standings. Bluefield State. This is unacceptable, man. We're only above winless Lincoln. This is crazy, man. Absolute craziness. And so we're going to see. Once again, this is year 3, man. He said, I miss when we scored. Listen, I miss when we scored 24. Forget 30. Can we score 24 points? That would be nice. 24 points. 3 touchdowns and a field goal. You know what's crazy? I could be. No, I'm not mistaken. I'm thinking through it right now. Let me think. I'm trying to think offense. I don't think we've scored 3 offensive touchdowns in any game this year. I don't think so. I'm going back Shippensburg. We had the touchdown pass, had the touchdown run. Then you had the fumble. No, not in that game. Delaware State, we should have had a third touchdown. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered, but we should have had a third touchdown, but saw that fumble, that untouched fumble in the red. But okay, I ain't going to talk about that. Livingstone should have had a third game-winning touchdown, but, it is what it is. So, no, there's not one game this year where we have scored 3 touchdowns. Not one. So you say 30. Hey, I'll take 24. Because we haven't scored 24 points. Once again, we haven't scored 24 points on offense at all this year. The most offensive points we scored this year was 21. And how we got to 21 was 5 field goals. And was it 2 touchdowns against I think it might have been 2 touchdowns against Salem. I think it might have been 2. Or it might have been 1. I think it was 2 touchdowns. But still, this is college football. You don't have a single game with 3 touchdowns. Come on, man. This is that's what I'm saying, man. Matt, come on, man. You figure something out. I don't care what you got to do. I don't care. Listen, I don't care if you go to the Veer, the Wing T. I don't know. I don't care if you go all the way back when they was playing leather helmets. If it gets the points in the end zone, hey, do what you got to do. But this can't go on for much longer. But that's all I got for you guys, man. I'm going to go ahead and get on up out of here. Shout out to Raymond Bone for coming through.